This is Wealth Principle 35. It's been 35 weeks on our journey across the year of the 52 weeks to wealth. Wealth Principle 35 is build an awesome team around you. Build an awesome team around you. We've got a book of the week. Mike Shine will be introducing that book in about 15, 20 minutes because every single principle goes along with one of our requirements, one of our commitments, one of the things that we've agreed to, which is to read a book a week, 52 books a year. And for the first year, we've set up a really good stream of principles and a really good stream of books that tie into those principles. Give Mike Shine a round of applause for helping me out with that. It was a lot of work, but man, it was a labor of love.
Walter,
Trying to pick.
Walter.
Yes, Ron Bowling.
Pretty sure this is 36.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong, my friend, and I love you, even though you've
sure?
given me a suggestion. Yes.
Sure?
Yes, because I have the website open right in front of me that says Principle 35, create an awesome team around you.
I thought you did that one already.
I have not, although it is a principle that I talk about often. Give Ron Bowling, the man behind the curtain, a round of applause. I am aware, though, that the email you sent out was 36, wasn't it? Yep. So little disconnect. If you read your email, just ignore the email. We are at 35, but now you know the future. Principle 36 is coming up, and that'll be impeccable with your word. And we are clearly being impeccable with our word currently. So create an awesome team around you. This principle has never been, none of the wealth principles have been established as quickly and as easily as this one has been just now. Ron Bowling is one and the leader of a massive group of people who make sure that everything works really well, not just for this training, but for our couple of other businesses. If it wasn't for Ron being the orchestrator of a really powerful team, we wouldn't be able to hang out with you and it wouldn't be as smooth as it is right now. Does everybody understand that without a team leader, no team exists? Hands to the camera. Okay. So the team leader, which is where I like to put Ron, I'm more of a figurehead. I'm more of an energy source. But at the end of the day, when it comes to everything working, Ron runs the team. He runs the property managers. He runs the attorneys, the lenders. It's a different side of our business. And so you have to, in the beginning of your team, it's you and you. You influence yourself. There's 4 levels of influence. And when it comes to leading teams, you should understand what those 4 levels of influence are, because in the beginning, you're leading the team. You're leading the charge. Even if it's a team of 1, it's really a team of 2. I'll explain that in a second. So there's 4 types of influence. The first type of influence is self-influence, influencing yourself. So you have an external thought, but your subconscious mind is running the program. Your subconscious mind is running everything in your life right now. And before you can get any kind of control over yourself, you've got to have that conversation. You've got to decide who you want to be, what you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to create for yourself. Once you've had that decision with yourself, well, now affirmations. Who's done affirmations before? Hands to the camera. If you've said words that are things you'd like to become, excellent. That is a way of influencing yourself. Who here has ever opened their mouth and spoken about themselves before to another person? Hands to the camera. You've mentioned something about yourself to somebody else. That is influencing, because sometimes you'll be saying something and the person will look at you and say, who are you trying to convince, yourself or me? Anybody ever heard that before? Yes, I'm known for saying it. So sometimes we speak just to convince ourselves. Be careful with what you're saying. Be careful with the words you're choosing. You are the leader of your team, and the team starts with you. Once you believe something, once you believe a principle, once you believe that something is possible, then it becomes possible for you to move into the world and actually take action on it. The next form of influence is one-on-one. It's you and someone else. You and someone else. This is the first building of the team. It's usually one person, one real clincher, a business partner, or somebody to replace you, or an administrative assistant. There's usually somebody else who comes on after you've convinced yourself that you can do it. Fair to say? People who've built teams before. Excellent. So one-on-one is a little different to convincing yourself, but it's all the same tools, same strategies. So instead of saying, I am going to do this, you're saying, you are going to do this. You have the ability to do this. You're empowering your team. The only way to build an awesome team is first be an awesome person and then spend time with awesome people. Does this make sense? As within, so without. If you want to attract the best team to you, you've got to do a little personal development. There's got to be a little bit of work going on inside so that you can attract the right people, so that you can put out the energy for attracting the right people, so you can be bearable for the right people. Does that make sense? If you want to bring them in, you want to keep them there, you may have to adjust something about you. Now, I want to be very clear that you are perfect just the way you are, just like your parents said. You're a little angel and you're doing perfectly awesome in life, and everything you've accomplished so far has been pretty impressive. And I also want to be very honest with you and let you know that you got a little bit you could improve. There's maybe something in there. If you look hard enough, you may find something, and there's more you can do. You are capable of more. Hands to the camera if you know you're capable of more. Yes? Excellent. So you're perfect just the way you are, and yet there's room to improve. And the more we improve, the more people, or the quality of the people, will start noticing around us. Is that fair to say? Does this seem reasonable so far? Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. Everybody in the mentorship, I love seeing your faces every week. It is a phenomenal surge of energy for me. You are the third form of influence, which is the group. Speaking, communicating to a group. The influence over a group, because as you build your team, you will have to speak in larger groups. Is that fair to say? Who would love to run a team of 100 people around them, building the same mission as them? Who would love to just have passive income, never have to talk to anybody ever again? Hands to the camera. It's okay to admit it. Love you guys. Here's the trick with money. Now, once you do have money, you probably could pull that off. You probably could invest with one company, one person, one stockbroker, one investor of any kind, one business owner of any kind, and do very well without having any communication. It's possible once you're rich. But on your journey there, you're going to need people. And large groups, large teams are the key to getting large results. Every person in your team is a lever. Every person in your team is one extra rope around the lever that is your success. As you're looking to pull it further and farther forward, the quality of your team starts with you. The ability for you to influence yourself rolls into the ability to influence one-on-one. And the ability to influence one on many, as we were talking to the coaches last night, is the power of the word you. When in front of many people, most people will resort to the fact that they're in front of many people, which is a key to distancing themselves, to protecting themselves, to make sure that they're not vulnerable. So in a group of people, if you were to come out on stage or into the office or the conference room and say, hey, you guys, instantly the mind shuts off. The mind does not like being told, you guys. It feels insignificant. But if you come to the room and say, hey, good morning, it's good to see you, it hits everybody. Fair to say? So communicating one onto a group is different from what you expect, from what you think. Now, it's the same as communicating one-on-one. So that's a little trick, a little tip. The importance of the group, I do not want to miss this. The importance of the group is, everybody knows that I don't do anything in my business. I don't do anything for the rental properties. I don't do anything for the agency. I don't do anything for the referral business. There are other people who do things for us. There are agents. I believe in our network, we've always had around 25 agents. We're in transition, so we're working on getting them all over to the EXP Alchemist Real Estate Group name, but they're in our network regardless. We're sending referrals out. We're working with these agents. That means I don't ever have to go on an appointment with a seller. Does that make sense? As an investor, I never have to go on an appointment. As somebody who runs a brokerage and a team, I have buyers who want to work with us, and I don't have to go and have those phone calls. I can shoot a quick little text over to one of our agents and they pick it up, or the mortgage broker will pre-approve them and then the agent picks it up. It's a leveraged system because of human beings. I remember when I was having the conversation with Dorina, I kept saying leverage system, and she kept thinking there's got to be a program that does this. There's got to be a program that does this. And eventually I had to explain to her, no, the people, the leverage system is the people. It's the real estate agents. It's the other people, the virtual assistant, the admins. There's other people in your business that are part of your system. Business owners, you know what I'm talking about? That the people are systems. Yes. And they're the most fascinating systems. The most amazing people come up, even people who aren't that amazing by many standards, come up with amazing systems. I was talking to Melissa Darling last night. Melissa, remember the conversation? I said that lazy people are the people who are the most innovative. And Bill Gates is also known for saying, if somebody's really, like, if you have something you want to get done quickly, give it to somebody who's busy. Give it to somebody who's busy because they just get things done. They're already busy. They're already doing stuff. Just put it in front of them. They're going to get it done quick. And if you want a new innovative way to do something, give it to somebody who's lazy. And so everybody on your team has a gift. Does that make sense? They may not always be gifted for the position you gave them, but they're gifted for something. And as you develop your team, it's very important to recognize that. The fourth level of influencing a team or influencing people, is you versus the world. It's you on global. It's you on digital format, the internet. It's things that are created that stay out there forever. And so a blog, videos, the Facebook Live that's running right now is recorded and indefinite. And so the communication that goes into a recorded training, a recorded communication, that is slightly different influence as well. Does that make sense? The influence on something recorded has to be done in a way where it can be useful and withstand the test of time. Now you can do all of these at once, just like we're doing right here. Before I came into this training, I did a little one-on-one with myself. I said, okay, what are we doing today? Teams. I like teams. Good. Book of the week, Traction, solid book. I remember what it was about. This is perfect. I know what I want to talk about. I know I want to talk about the teams that we've built and the teams that you would want to build as a real estate investor. Is it okay if I focus on real estate investing this week? Excellent. Business owners, trust me, your teams look very similar to our teams. It's not much different. And everybody in here should own a business at some point. I believe that owning a business, even if it is your hourly business where you work hourly for somebody else, you should have some stream of income that you're making with your active hours. There should be something that you're doing. Now, as you become more and more successful, you leverage that. My active hours are this hour here. And this hour here is very powerful for our entire business. It's powerful for the people in our mentorship program. And I have about 5 active hours a week that are non-negotiable. There's no getting around them, but they move the biggest levers. Does that make sense? So wealthy people, rich people, people like you, future millionaires, people building their wealth, you're going to be doing something very unique, which is working your entire life, but always increasing your income, always looking to get to the next level, finding a more levered part in the business. And there's no more levered piece than running and allocating the team, finding the right people, bringing people into your company and qualifying them, making sure they're the right people to work with you, because they are the leverage. They're what's going to allow you to go on to the next level and do more. Does that make sense? Excellent. Real estate. We have teams. Mike Shine is a real estate attorney. You need one of those in your team. We've got lenders. There are lenders on the call here. You need multiple different types of lenders in real estate. There's different ways to finance properties. You want a real estate agent. We've got dozens of real estate agents on the call here. I am licensed and I have a team that we work with that I love sending our leads because they're trained to work with investors. They're investor focused. If you're an investor, you need a property manager. If you're any kind of human being, you need somebody who does your insurance. If you got a car, you want health insurance, you want life insurance. If you've got real estate, you definitely want insurance. And when I give the advice of insurance, let me say, go a little over what you think you need, because the day that you ever need it, you'll be glad you paid for replacement value, not just cost. Replacement value is how much it would cost you to actually rebuild the building. And in the only time we've ever heard of people using the insurance, they had to rebuild the building. Fair to say? Makes sense? common. So insurance agents, they're important. I'd say inspectors, appraisers, mentors, people who have invested in the area before, go and ask, hey, is this a good deal? Would you like to take a look at the property with me? Contractors of all kinds, plumbers, electricians, window, roof, vinyl, driveways, basement people. There's a lot of different people on your team. Is this making sense so far? Are you building the list? Hands to the camera if you're writing the list down. Excellent. Good job. So the list of contractors is endless. The list of professionals in your business is pretty finite. We call it the dirty dozen. There's about a dozen people that you want in your network. Wholesalers, you should have a few of those. These are people who can bring you deals. Real estate agents who are marketing, people who are talented with marketing. You want a marketing company, somebody you can send leads to, send phone numbers to, and they'll go out and create the content for you. On Monday night, we talk about how to build your marketing team, how to build marketing tools. Monday night's calls are the wholesale mastermind. We call them the wholesale mastermind, but they are about finding deals. That's really what it is. And it's less of a mastermind and more of a community, more of a party of people who are looking to improve themselves. Ron, there's somebody's mic who's unmuted, who's got a little feedback. If you could find that microphone. Thank you, sir. Teams. Yep. All right. I can find you. Let's see. Or just mute everybody and unmute me. That's fine. Excellent. So teams that are built start with one. They start with one. The first person you want on your team is a real estate agent. Write it down. Real estate agents have everybody else, typically, for the most part. The next would probably be the lender or the inspector. And the lender is one of the pieces that it may change over time. We worked with a lot of the same lenders early on, and then over time we've adjusted. And as we've built, we've had to move from residential to commercial to hard money, and then private money, and hedge funds will eventually be part of it, raising capital through syndication. As you move through your business, there's different forms of lending. Hands to the camera if you know what I'm talking about. Hands to the camera if you know you got to get the money to do the deal. Awesome. Excellent. It's great to see so many of our friends on here. There are 45 of you, or 46 of us. Wealth Principle 35 is all about building the team, building an awesome team around you. We talked about the quality of the team, why they are quality. It's because you have become quality. If you find that your team has some questionable habits, they seem to be doing shady deals, or you don't seem to be able to trust them, I would look very deeply in the mirror for some time and figure out where that is in you and adjust accordingly. And then once you have, you may find that either the team improves or changes. That person may no longer be welcome on a team. It's okay to cull. We were talking about it last night, how it's harder to get rid of somebody than it is to bring them in. So you're better off figure it out before you bring somebody in. But if you are unfortunate enough to have built the team the wrong way, you can always change the team. Hands to the camera if you're okay with changing the team if necessary. Yes. So we're clear. Everybody's on the chopping block at all times. If you make too many mistakes, this area, this group will get rid of you in a quickness. Give yourselves a round of applause for being willing to protect the community, defend yourselves, and defend your own mind and your own businesses. At the end of the day, your network is your net worth. The people around you are what you will actually be evaluated by. The deals you do, the money you have to raise, the quality, it's all based on the people that you've allowed in your network. Mike Shine, what do we got going on in the group there? Sarah, you could talk to Walter Ron about cost segregation. We are also getting the syndication going. Yeah, man, look at Mike Shine in the chat. Mike.
Yes.
Book of the week, Traction.
Yeah, I left it at home, but it is Traction. I put it in the link, but I can put it again. A chat by Gino Wickman. It's an amazing book about teams, and if you have a team, you really have to read this book because it basically tells you how to set up your team so that you have different components. And this traction has become like a nationwide phenomenon now, because now they actually have traction consultants. So you can actually have someone come into your business, analyze how you're doing it, and there's the book, Walter's got it, and tell you how to set up. Walter, I forgot the names of, what are you again? You're the creator?
So I am a visionary. Ron is an alchemist. This is the book, phenomenal book, and Traction is all about marketing. It's about building the team and getting the marketing behind you.
But it's also, I was saying to Walter last night, I have a architect who has a traction consultant who comes in once a week and makes sure that the team is actually following all the steps that are in traction. And the success that he's had since he implemented traction would just blow your mind. He now has 10 architects working under him. He does projects all over the world. It's really exciting to watch, and he attributes a lot of that to the program in Traction. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's more than just a book. It's a way to take your team, however small, to the next level. And as Terry Wager says, hell yeah! Woo!
Give Mike Shine a round of applause. The book of the week is Traction. As I mentioned earlier, we read 52 books a year. That's a book a week. The list can be found. It seems that a lot of people don't know where it's at. It's at waltermorello.com. And right at the top, it says 52 Weeks to Wealth. If you go at the top to the right, the little headers there, I wrote a blog a while back that had all 52 wealth principles, and then I went back and revised it and added the books after I had spoken to Mike Shine and figured out what books would benefit the group the most based on the wealth principles we'd already accepted and come to appreciate and utilize in our business. The power of the 52 weeks is that every single week you get a new wealth principle that you implement into your business, into your life. Whether or not you have a team, you've got a business. It just happens to be a business that runs on you. You're the boss. Hopefully you're a good boss. You treat yourself well and you increase income and you're benefiting the community in one way or the other so that you can actually collect cash. If you're not adding value to other people's lives, you're not getting paid. So that's a good source, a good way to gauge how successful you are. How much money did you make? Now, owning a business, I think, is non-negotiable if you want to get huge. If you want to become a very large, very successful business owner, then building a team is a requirement. Getting traction is a requirement. Taking the time to build yourself, improve your ability to influence others is a requirement. Is this hitting home right now? Maybe it's a skill that you've put on the back burner and said, I don't really want to learn that one, but I probably should. Excellent. We've got an amazing community with some really ambitious goals. Hands to the camera if you know you got a big goal. You got something big that you'd like to do. I want to do an exercise because I do an exercise every week because I believe that taking time to do things, implement, will allow you to start the steps so that over the next week you can really implement this process. I want you to write down, grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down who your team is now, if you have a team, and what roles they are in. If you don't have a team, you are the team. So write down what role you're in, what roles you're currently in.
How many hats you wearing?
What is it, Terry?
How many hats are you wearing?
How many hats are you wearing? If you're the CEO, the COO, and the CFO, just be aware of it.
AKA, how am I my own bottleneck in my business?
Yep.
100%. So as you're writing this down, I want you to think about who is missing in the team. As the coaches just mentioned, if you are the only person there, if you are a cog in the wheel, then you are the clog in the wheel. If you're still needed for the machine, you're what's slowing the machine down because your job is to be the operator, the improver of the machine, not a part of the machine. Does that make sense? Excellent. So who's missing in your company right now? Who is missing? Who is the one person who is missing in your company right now that would move it to the next level. That person could be you. What do I mean by that? If you have a business or a dream or something you want to accomplish and you're not actively moving towards it, then you're the first person you need to influence. You're the first person you need to hire. Know what I'm talking about? Excellent. Excellent. So now that you've identified this person or type of person, role, it's a role, it's a responsibility. It's something that you don't want to do that you know the business really could use. It's something that you no longer have the ability to do in the level that you'd like to do. For some people, it's marketing. For some people, it's sales. For some people, it's actual production. For others, it's back-end paperwork. It could be phone calls. It depends on your business and where you're at in the business. It could be labor. It could be skilled, talented labor. For Ron and I know that it adjusts between raising capital is a skill. It's something that we require occasionally. Finding deals is another skill that we require. And the actual labor to do the projects, to follow through in our management of companies or in the project management of a flip. These are people that are required. So as you're writing down, everybody wrote down somebody. You've got somebody, everybody's got a role that they know is missing currently. Yes. And again, sometimes it is you. You may be missing in your business. Let's set a goal for this week to identify a person who would fit that role. And let's just pretend for a second, what if somebody in my current existing network was going to fit that role? What if there was somebody who I already knew? Somebody I already knew who could fit this role for me now, and I'll add the next level, and would actually benefit more than, they would benefit me, the business, more than I would pay them. So they would improve and do the role so much so that you're earning more. Who's having a hard time with this one? So far, so good. Making progress. Did everybody find somebody? Excellent. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing that you have a network of people who are willing or at least capable? They'll probably be willing once they have the conversation, but willing to improve your business. Fascinating. Maybe it's you. Building an awesome team around you, it comes and it starts with having an awesome dream, having an awesome vision. For me, my vision is building 100 millionaires. That has accumulated quite the team. I see every single one of you on the journey with us. Every single one of you is part of the team. Our coaches were attracted to the mission. They were attracted to what we were doing. Terry, go ahead.
So one of the things when you guys are doing this exercise, one of the things that I learned from one of my coaches that actually is all about the JV experience is think of your business as a stream and you're in it. And then think about who's upstream, who's actually delivering you business. And then think about those people around you who are downstream, who actually what you do for people creates their business. So as investors, you're creating a need for Mike Shine because he closes deals. And so you also need somebody who, if you're not the wholesaler or not the person who's cold calling, you need somebody upstream who's actually getting deals that you can invest in. And so when you think about who's upstream from me, and then you think about who's downstream from you, then you can really start to really organize it in a way that really works. And it works in your team inside your business too. Who does these things that allows me to do my job better? And then once I do my job, who can take the work and move it from there, just like a conveyor belt, or like I said, a stream of water going down, who's upstream, who's downstream.
Give Terry Wager a round of applause. Terry is both upstream and downstream. He's there at a level in the business that helps me move forward. And while some of the coaches are speaking, you'll notice I am able to get a drink. It's not easy being up here speaking for an hour, but the coaches allow me that chance to get a little sip of water, hydrate a little bit. So thank you, Terry. I appreciate your education. You're jumping in. Mitch Jorsky, Mike Shine, Darina, Ryan, McDermott, Doug McGurk. I appreciate each and every one of you guys because you allow me to hydrate. And the information you deliver is always valuable. The team building process starts with you. It starts with you working on yourself. It starts with you having a desire to do something big. The dream of 100 millionaires, building 100 millionaires, was something bigger than I could handle on my own. And that is why we had to start bringing in other millionaires. We had to start bringing in coaches. And then I realized that, well, it's bigger than just the coaches. We've got to start bringing in more people because the millionaires are built from people like you, people who have a desire to do more, be more, become more, give more, train more. Who here would like to one day teach other people how to become wealthy? Obviously not right now, but once you've become wealthy, you'd like to give back. Excellent. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's a big step to know inside of you that you got something to give one day, even before it's built, even before you've built that asset of yourself. You know that at some point you want to give back. As you're building your team, be focused on the vision, be focused on what you're building, and make sure that they're focused on it as well. As you continue to grow the people around you, make sure that you're continuing to communicate your vision of an awesome team. Please do me the favor, as you build your team, make them awesome, make them good people, because man, life is incredible. The more good, quality, friendly, caring, ambitious, growth-oriented people you surround yourself with. I want to be very careful with the way I word this next sentence. Let's just say in the past, I've built different kinds of teams and it wasn't such a great experience. So from personal experience, I want you to make sure as you're building your team, you qualify the people you bring in. It's harder to get rid of them than it is to bring them in. You can at any point say no. And once they're in, well, now you feel guilty. Now they feel they've got connections with other people. Now they're rubbing off on you. And influencing yourself is the most important part. If somebody else is having influence over you, make sure it's a good influence. Does that make sense? We get that other people, no matter how tough you are, other people can have influence on you. So it's important to surround yourself with people who have a powerful and impactful, strong, positive influence on you in your life, because those people will give you the courage to move forward and become a better person. Model successful people, model good people, model people with great relationships, great health, great businesses. Some of our friends have what's been voted the best place to work in Rhode Island. Brett Reed, that's fair to say about Peregrine Group. They're the #1 voted best place to work. So when I think about community and culture in a business, I think of what would Brandon or Colin do? How did they build their great community, great culture, great place to work? When I think about health and fitness, I have people in my life that I think, man, they're in great shape. When I think about diet, I think, is this vegan thing all what it's cracked up to be? And I look at Mike Shine, I'm like, he hasn't fallen apart yet. He's been doing it. How long, Mike Shine? How long have you been vegan? 4 years?
3 years. 3 years August. 3 years August.
Any side effects?
I run faster. I don't have trouble breathing. My resting heart rate is around a 42. So I'm rocking it.
Give Mike Shine a round of applause, proving that vegan's possible for everybody. I'm working on it. But it's an experience hanging out with people who are eating healthier than you. You can learn something from you. Learn the tips and tricks on how to eat. Went out to a restaurant last night that was not a vegan restaurant. In fact, most of the meals were all meat. But Mike found a way, and it was super simple. No stress. Who knows that it would be hard for you to switch over your diet to something like that? Yeah, it's okay. Mike Shine's on a mission.
There's plenty of substitutes nowadays. It's really easier to be vegan, and it's a lot of fun. My diet actually changed, became has a lot more variety than when I was just a runner eating hard-boiled eggs and grilled chicken. So it's fun. It's fun.
Mike, for 3 years strong, I'm impressed. So the concept, we were talking about it last night, you need 3 coaches, 2 mentors, 1 mastermind. 3 coaches, 2 mentors, 1 mastermind. Last night at the table, I was told I don't communicate what that is. And so I've said that often, but apparently I've not communicated clearly what the coaches are for, what the mentors are for, and what the mastermind's for. Hands to the camera if that's true. You've heard me say 3 coaches, 2 mentors, 1 mastermind, but don't know what I'm talking about. Awesome. That is my fault, my mistake. So last night I had the conversation, and what it is, and write this down, this is very impactful. It's very important. One of the problems I have is as I'm writing the book, Real Estate Alchemist, Fast Track Retirement, I've already put this in there, but the book's not written, so you don't have access to it yet. And it probably won't be written for a few more months. And so the 3 coaches are health, wealth, relationships. And I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of money. Wow, that's costly. You should have 3 coaches in those areas. Well, which one do you want to sacrifice? Your health, your wealth, or your relationships? Anybody on football teams or sports when they were younger? Or any kind of activity where you needed an instructor or a coach to keep you going? Yes. Excellent. Did better in that arena. Yes. You did better with the coach. Did better. Excellent. Being pushed, told what to do, being tweaked. They're watching you run. They're saying, well, you run a little lopsided. You don't like hearing it. You're mad at your coach half the time, but then you run less lopsided. You run a little faster. You gain a little bit more momentum. You gain a little bit of speed. There you go, Ron. Great background. So the coaches, think health. We'll do a health first. That is a fitness coach, somebody who's in line with your fitness goals, somebody who's in better shape than you. I don't like the idea of coaches who are not in better shape than you. We agree. I'm not a huge fan of the fat fitness coach. That's not advice I'm looking to take. Now, for coaches out there who are on this call, who are fat fitness coaches, just so you know, it doesn't send a good message. You might want to clean it up before you go and promote your success. Does that make sense? Excellent. So just like any other coach or mentor, I want to know what they've done in their past before I hire them. I want to see proof of their results. I want to see that they got what I want. And same with health coaches, fitness coaches. It's the same when you get into wealth. When I look for a wealth coach or somebody who's better at building business, there are multiple streams, multiple avenues of wealth coaches. You've got real estate, stocks, you've got business. Within those niches, there are other coaches. There are strategy coaches. There are sometimes your real estate agent could be a coach. There are coaches who will talk you through the finance side of things. There are coaches who will talk you on the marketing side of things. Who's heard of wholesaling? Wholesaling, hands to the camera. They got thousands of coaches just in wholesaling alone. Fair to say, who's been marketed to by a coach at some point who's wanted to teach you wholesaling on Facebook or YouTube? Yes, excellent. So there are coaches in so many of the many niches in every aspect of the 3 main points: health, wealth, relationships. And stocks have its own set of coaches. Cryptocurrency has its own set of coaches. Mitch Jorsky, do you know any coaches in cryptocurrency?
Where do you go?
I may know 1 or 2
Mm-hmm.
personally.
What about yourself? Mitch, what's your experience with crypto?
I mean, got involved with it back in 2016, and I will admit I cheat on my real estate with my cryptocurrency. I'm just as involved in that community as I am with the real estate, and there is every bit of framework you're talking about in regards to, today's call and business, like that exists in cryptocurrency, real estate, whatever it is you do. Like these factors are there. There's coaches, there's mentors, there's building a team. So it's taking this framework and just extrapolating it into whatever it is you're doing.
I love it. Give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. He's one of the coaches in our mentorship program, and he is awesome. He's well diversified. He's also a real estate coach, owns a bunch of real estate, does a lot of deals. But cryptocurrency is a direction he's moving in. Terry Wager.
I want to give you a chance to have a sip of water. And as I do that, I want to really clarify something that Mitch said is he actually had a framework completed before he jumped completely into a new thing. And so for those people who are thinking about doing two things at once, do one framework, have one track, focus on one track, get it working, then apply it to another thing. Too often what we do is we end up having 4 or 5 tracks and we aren't invested in any of them enough to get them going. And when we really start focusing on one track, get that going, then we can duplicate it.
Goes back to Mike's favorite wealth principle. Put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. Great advice from the coaches. Give Mitch and Terry a round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen.
And Mike Shine.
Oh, well, yeah. Throw it up for Mike Shine as well. So when it comes to building your team.
I didn't hear all the clapping.
There you go, Mike.
I just want to point out, because you're
Spoken like a true eye.
I read my mind.
I want to point out that in the chat, while this is all going on, there's a huge Ron Bowling love fest. So just so you
Oh, come on.
Rightfully so.
Everybody knows I don't read the chat until afterwards, so I have no idea what's going on over there.
Mike,
Thanks-
start the
thanks
Ron
for the
Bowling
heads up.
chat.
Ron Bowling fan club. Woo!
I've got to put a stop to this somehow. So
Start the bird video.
there's 3 coaches: health, wealth, and relationships. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have Ron start becoming one of the coaches, and he can run one of the financial sectors to how to automate and get other people to do things. Ron, what do you think?
Not a coach.
Not a
It doesn't
coach.
need to be actually financial. It could just be an automation wizard.
We'll call him the automation wizard. That's actually, for a while, he was sorcerer. What were you in the office?
I don't know.
Sorcerer or wizard?
Visible.
I
With his
prefer the Great Oz. I think he should be the Great Oz.
Ken, good suggestion. So I digress. When it comes to coaches, there are 3 types of coaches. You want to make sure that you have somebody who's taking care of your health, somebody who's taking care of your wealth, somebody's taking care of your relationships. Last night I heard that's very expensive or that's very time consuming. Well, so is life. Life has a price. You will die. At some point, you will die, and you will either die happy or you will die thinking, I should have done more, I should have done better, I should have done things. And coaches will make sure that you hold yourself accountable. Does that make sense? Yes? Excellent. As far as relationships, there are coaches who help you with your relationship with yourself. Psychologists, people like Terry, people like Doug, mindset coaches, they're helping you build a relationship with yourself before you can even consider building a relationship with someone else. Does that make sense? How relationships actually start with you. You're the first relationship you have to have. And then after you've got a good relationship with yourself, then and only then is it even moral or ethical to go out and start putting yourself out there. A lot of people you've probably met, you can think of now, are people who are not necessarily the best to know. Now, you don't have to put hands up. You don't have to tell me who it is. But there are people out there in your relationships, in your network, who are people that you think, man, like their just existence is negative. Hands to the camera. You know anybody? Excellent. Maybe at some point it was you, right? We've all done it. We've had our bad days. We're like just spewing negativity out there. That's okay. We don't have to admit to it. That's a past. We don't do that anymore. Now that we're aware, we're cognizant of this behavior. There are people who could use some improvement. Don't be one of those people. Get the help. Go out, find yourself somebody who's going to be able to move you forward and just get you thinking the right way. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to accept help. In the beginning, you don't always get the opportunity to have the most expensive coaches. That's okay. Anybody who's better than you is probably a place to start. Does that make sense? If they're just a little ahead of you, that's as good a place as any. And eventually, the better quality of the coach, the further ahead they are, the better quality of the results that you're going to see. And so as you become more ambitious in your life and in your relationships, you can move on to other people. I've had coaches who help me influence to the global market. I have coaches who've helped me influence one on many, one on the world. And so those coaches are very talented at what they do, and they cost quite a bit of money. Does that make sense? The more people you want to communicate with, the more expensive that coach can be. I love it. We get the concept. We understand how this all works. Now, mentors, there are two types of mentors, one who's local, one who's not local. They do both have to be in exactly the business that you're looking to build, because a mentor has experience. A coach doesn't necessarily have to have a ton of experience in your business, but a mentor must. A mentor must be experienced in the business that you're in. Terry, I see your hand.
I want to let you drink again. One of the things before you move to mentors is I want to really talk for just a minute on investing in coaching. So many people, especially when they begin the journey of working with coaches, working with mentors, working with people they're paying for improvement in their life and their systems and their businesses, is they're thinking about what they're putting in, and they're not thinking about the results that they're getting out. And so I want to encourage everyone, when you start thinking about what Walter's talking about in this coaching world, is don't think about the investment in, think about what the return on investment is out of it. And Warren Buffett talks about, when you spend money on coaching, every dollar you spend, you'll be getting $5 out in return on investment. And so really think about that when you're talking to the coaches and thinking about what you're doing to move yourself along, because the reality is, you know, Walter has coaches, we have coaches, we've spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching because we know that the return on investment is much greater than what we're putting in.
Well, it's quantitative and it's qualitative. I mean, the coaches change your life. They don't just change what your return on investment is.
Give Christine a round of applause. I've been dying to say that for weeks. Thank you, Christine. That has been the biggest tip of advice that we've received all day. Terry Wager, you set it up perfectly. Well done. We love having
a team.
You're a power couple.
This is what happens when you pick the good teammates.
Absolutely. And your spouse is number one. They have to be your number one team. Well, first it's you. You bet on yourself and you partner with yourself. And then your spouse gives you a big hand in the universe, in the world. Your partners give you a big hand in the universe, in the world. So you've got your mentor who's local, your mentor who's not local. Who wants to hear the rest? Yes? Is it okay if I sell? Can I sell my mentorship while we're doing this?
Walter, can I just interrupt? I just need what I need between a coach and a mentor. What was puzzling to me is what's the difference between a coach and a mentor? So if you can speak on that.
Coaches have hair.
All right, Mike, great question. Excellent. And for everybody else on the call, I will answer that. So, and I'm going to sell my product at the same time because this is my show and I get to do that. And you're welcome. So coaches and mentors, the difference is coaches are specific every day. They're there, they're kicking your ass. You pay for coaches in a more aggressive manner. You're paying for them to call you, to text you, to hold you accountable, to make sure that they care about what you're doing. They care deeply on what you're doing every day. They're moving you forward. They're involved. They're super involved in your life. It's a job. It's a lot of work. It's intense. They earn every dollar they're getting. Does this make sense? Coaches have a lot of work to do because they're dealing with you one-on-one. Mentors, on the other hand, you ask us questions, we give you answers. It's a very different situation. A coach is looking for a way to improve your life that you may not be aware of yet, that you may not see yet. Whereas a mentor is being successful currently in your business, doing what you're doing. That's a mentor because they have all the knowledge, the specific key knowledge to what you want to get what they have. Mentor is bigger than you. They have more success in an arena that you would like to accomplish. And so with a mentor, the relationship tends to be that of, well, here's the advice, go do it. Whenever you're done, come back, or don't. It's okay. Does that make sense? Anybody have a mentor in their lives? Have experienced that? Excellent. So we've talked about in the past keys to finding a good mentor, how to keep them around, how to inspire them to keep mentoring you. But a mentor is somebody who has all the knowledge, but doesn't quite know where you're at to give it to you, and has enough on their plate to go do their thing. Mentors are very busy. They're running their own businesses. They're running their own show. These are the people you want the most specific advice from. Does that make sense? A coach is going to kick your ass. They're going to keep you moving forward. They're going to make you do things you don't want to do. A mentor is not going to force anything on you. That's what I did. That's how I did it. If you want to do this, well, in this market, this case, this is what I would do. This is a suggestion. You've got to go to them with very specific answers, and they will give you very specific answers. Does that make sense? Excellent. So I hide under the premise of mentorship because it's much easier for me. It's what I enjoy the most. I like specific answers for specific questions. Coaching is something I am capable of doing. It's something I am great at if I ever decide to do it. For the people who sat down and done a one-on-one coaching session with me, hands to the camera, I know what I'm talking about. I can bang through it. I can get it done. I can move you. It's something that is also, for me, time consuming, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of work. I put the cost of my coaching so high so that nobody asks me for it. I put it at $25,000 because at 25, I'll do it and it's worth it to me. But anything below that, I've got other things that I can do for $25,000 that'll make me $25,000. Does that make sense? It's knowing the quality of your time. This is just how I evaluate one form of the business. Mentors, on the other hand, are easy for me. Two types of mentors. Write this down. You have one local and one out of town. One local, one out of town. This way, they're not competing. So a local mentor, if they're active in the business, which they should be, if they're big enough, busy enough, they're not trying to give you all their clients. This makes sense. They're probably not going to teach you marketing or sales. They're probably more going to teach you the specifics of how to get to the next level. They're more going to show you that it's possible. Maybe they'll make some connections for you out of state, somewhere else, so that you're not impeding or competing on their business. Every mentor eventually comes to a point where they're thinking, man, this person could take over my business and I could step back. And so that is in the back of their heads, but they're not trying to give you the business without getting a cut. Does that make sense? We understand how the local mentor thinks and how they have to think. Well, then there's mentors out of state. There's mentors out of area, out of arena, not necessarily in what you're doing locally. And so those out of state mentors can give you advice because on marketing, on sales, on building your business, on really expanding, because you can't touch us. Does that make sense? Excellent. Now, as far as I'm concerned in my business, I do both because I don't care if you get bigger than me. In fact, I want you to, because I serve a different mission. I serve a different purpose. I'm building millionaires. And so anybody who wants to build millionaires, I'm cool with, right? Like the whole mission of building millionaires, if your business is built around building millionaires, cool, let's partner up, let's work together. Because that's my mission, even though I own real estate, even though we have a real estate agency. And I see it all the time for the local real estate agents. They're the worst. The local real estate agents are the absolute worst. They think that we compete on any level. And I want to be very clear on this call. I don't compete on any level with any real estate agent anywhere in the country. There's nobody on my level doing what I do. And so for real estate agents, I want to send you business because I'm not about to go do the work that you do, but I know that what you do is super important. It's just like our coaches. I don't provide coaching. I bring in coaches who are better than me, smarter than me, people who know their skills, their craft better than I ever could or ever desire to. And so affiliating with other people is smart. It's how you grow your business. It's, again, that team. And so you really want to look at what you're doing and say, do I have the mentor right now to move me to the next level? My mentorship is expensive for people who don't want to move to the next level. It's extremely expensive, $1,000. And $1,000 can be a lot of money for somebody who doesn't want to get to the next level. $1,000 can be huge, very expensive for somebody who doesn't want to make $1 million. over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Very expensive for somebody who doesn't want to be rich. It's very expensive for somebody who doesn't want to be around an amazing community. It's $1,000 is very expensive for somebody who doesn't want to spend the next 2 months surrounded in a community of mentors, coaches, fellow future millionaires who are building themselves, learning, growing, tweaking, adjusting, crying, shedding tears, sweating, getting to the next level in life so that they can improve. $1,000 is very expensive when it comes to staying normal, staying broke, staying right where you're at, not growing, not improving. I get it 100%. I was there. I wasn't about to pay $6 for a book that could change my life back in the day. I remember being that person. Now, for everybody in the mentorship, you know $1,000 is very affordable. It's a huge value. And by the way, since we're having the conversation, give Jill Ripley a round of applause. She's in our mentorship, and she told me the other night, she said, I don't like it when you say the mentorship is cheap. I don't like that word. I like it better if you said something like it's extreme value. It's extremely, what were some of the words you used, Jill? Help me out.
Affordable.
Affordable. Extremely affordable. So give Jill Ripley a round of applause. She said our program is extremely affordable and extreme value for $1,000 for 2 months, 8 weeks of intensive, very intense accountability, homework, tracking you, making sure you're doing it. And at the end, you have a team and friends. So $1,000, extremely affordable. I still like my more aggressive words, but they have a different connotation than what the team approves of. So everybody in the mentorship, hands to the camera if you know that you got your value day one. Day one, you got your value. You got more than you paid for. I love it. Give yourselves a round of applause. What an amazing community. By week 8, you know you took full advantage of something amazing and you still want more. Mike Shine, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to say, I said to Walter a bunch of times that I don't want to be associated with something that's not going to charge people money and not get them the value. And I'm a real softy at heart. But when I watch the people who are in our mentorship right now, who are succeeding, who are like putting in offers, asking me about purchase and sales agreements, and it's really awesome. The people in this group right now are actually succeeding and will be our future millionaires within 6 months. I don't get paid to say that. There's no compensation. It's just from my heart. I love what this group does, and all the coaches. I mean, you'd get the value if it was just Walter, but then you get this whole group of coaches too. I just, yeah, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
Give Mike Shine a round of applause. He's one of the coaches you get. You get Ryan McDermott, you get Mike Shine, Terry Wager, Doug McGurk, Mitch Jaworski, Mitch Durfee. Who else is on here? Lily, there's Darina. There's quite a few coaches in the program, and they're growing all the time. We're always bringing more people in. But for right now, the coaches told me, hey, we got enough of us. Let's bring more future millionaires in. And that's what this is all about. The $1,000 we charge goes back to marketing. It goes back to bringing more people in. And the only reason I charge it is to make sure that you hold yourself accountable. I know that you've done things in the past that were free and you didn't show up. You signed up, you said you'll be there, and then you didn't show up because they were free. No meat on the bone, no hook, no reason to show up. And so the $1,000 just makes you accountable. 3 coaches, 2 mentors, 1 local, 1 absent, and a mastermind. The mastermind, by the way, everybody in the mastermind knows we start at 12 o'clock today. Yes, hands to the camera if you're in the mastermind. Excellent. We start at 12 o'clock today. And the mastermind is a journey through the year. So after our mentorship program, so many of you are graduates, many of you have already gone through the mentorship program, many of you are still in it. After you finish, after those 8 weeks, you may be like Chris Hayward. Chris, are you on the call? Where is Chris Hayward?
Yeah, excuse me, I'm right here.
Chris, you remember what you said to me at the end when I sat you down with the graduation call? You said, it's over. I don't want it to be over. Can I go back in?
Yeah, I missed it. I was like, man, what am I going to do every week now?
And Mitch was right. Chris was ready to throw another $1,000 at us and say, "Like, just keep me in here. We'll just do this." And that's when we pitched the mastermind. And the mastermind is something that I've been a part of other masterminds. Ours is more intensive. We, like Mike Shine said, we deliver more value. So the masterminds I've been a part of were very expensive. You're talking $10,000, $25,000, $35,000 for the year, and we'd meet 4 to 6 times per year. We'd have to fly, which I don't mind. I like the flying. We'd fly to Vegas, Miami, New York. We'd go to Colorado, and we would mastermind together. And we pay for it. We pay for the ticket, pay for the flight, pay for the big mastermind, and we learn a lot. We grow. With our mastermind, based on value add and improving and growing, because we're on a different mission than those other masterminds. We're on a mission to build millionaires. 100 millionaires who will build 100 millionaires. So it's a very specific mission that we're on. So we built the mastermind a little different. We meet once a month. It's the last Saturday of the month. And we deep dive into your business specifically. The mastermind group is there. They've also paid to be there. It's, again, like everything else, extremely expensive for people who don't want to move forward. And if people want to get to the next level, extremely affordable. That $2,500 a year is what moves you and forces you to do the things you say you want to do. We have people in the mentorship who join the mastermind who now are doing things that scare the hell out of them. Scare literally the living shit out of them, because they've got all of us behind them saying, yep, that's the one thing. If you just did that one thing, it'd crush your business right now. The focus question for the mastermind, by the way, for everybody in the mastermind, it's coming up in about an hour. The focus question today is, what is stopping you from making $1 million this month? If you wanted to be making $1 million this month or this quarter, what is the one thing stopping you right now? We're going to pull that out of the way. We're going to take that obstacle, pull it out of the way. Hands to the camera if you're excited for that. Yes? Excellent. Perfect. I want to open it now for questions. Questions on the topic. Coaches, you can throw in your insights. If you thought there, oh, by the way, mentorship, waltermorello.com/mentor. Sign up now. Take yourself seriously. I want to give anybody who signed up recently a round of applause. Today, we actually had a new member, and I lost his face. Hand to the camera if you signed up today. Where are you? Matt Bierce. There he is. Give Matt Bierce a round of applause for signing up for the mentorship literally 20 minutes before this call. Andrew Casal, I see you. What's your question, brother?
I actually wanted to go back to what Terry said about investing in yourself, and I'm going to give him a free plug as well. When I spoke with him and started working with him, and I was about to sign up with him, all I saw was the amount that it would cost, and to the point where when him and I were talking on the phone, like that number almost like mentally, like I couldn't handle it. But I decided to commit anyway. And because of everything that I'm getting out of working with him, that I don't even think about that number anymore. It's, oh, you know, it's just, okay, I spent that money, but I've gotten so much out of it that it's like, I do it again in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Give Andrew Casal a round of applause. When Andrew started with us, he was nervous of what he was capable of, nervous of taking action on a few things. But now Andrew just takes action. He just moves forward. He keeps going. And you can see Terry Wager nodding his head. Yeah, because Terry's coaching him every week. They're getting together. He knows what's going on in Andrew's life. Let's give these two a round of applause. Your coach, man, they are on your ass. But thank God. Thank God, because Andrew's seen so much results, so much in a short period of time. Coaches, what do you think about Wealth Principle 35? What sauce, what little flavor, what little bam would you like to add? Doug McGurk, go ahead.
Well, I missed your share, but it's building the team, I presume, and that is probably the most powerful experience you can do. And it's beyond just who you're hiring as your team. It's literally who you're spending your time with, because you're being either affected or infected all the time, and you could either have the energy vampires sucking your life out of you, or just doing it by not holding you to a higher standard. A decision that I made a long time ago, which was a game changer, was to surround myself with people whose normal is what I aspire to. And that was a game changer, because now, like, I'm vibrating at another level, because I'm just reminded our conversations are at a different level. You know, they'll call you on. Yeah, I had one time I remember as a real estate thing that I made a mistake, and I said the word I fell victim to fraud, and he stopped me. He was like, "Victim?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "So you fucked up, like." Like, take responsibility. Come on. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's right. Just even using that word felt like gross in my mouth. And it didn't change what happened. I just, I made a mistake. I didn't, it was one of those rush deals, and I, just got sucked into the way that game is played, and I was corrected.
I love it.
Thankfully.
So Doug McGurk, phenomenal coach, phenomenal story. Toured with Tony Robbins. I watched I'm Not Your Guru last night by Tony Robbins on Netflix. Doug, were you in the movie? Were you there somewhere?
I was not on camera. I was there at a variety of times. A lot of my team was there, so some of my team was on the camera, but I was not. But I tell you what, here's another movie that you can, if you want to get inspired, and it's more like real time, where you're watching Tony do his thing, is We Are Twisted Effin' Sister. It's about Dee Snider. It's about Twisted Sister, the band. I don't know if you guys know the band. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter. But it's about their journey from zero to not when they exploded, not when they, were huge. They were told that you suck so bad that basically the record company was told, don't ever sign this band, and anyone who brings this band to us is fired. And that label was actually the one that ended up signing them. But seeing them talk about how they were going through this, and how they had to maintain that mindset, that champion mindset, that belief in themselves throughout being told how horrible they were, is it's such a testament to the power of belief in yourself, and confidence and willingness to just push through no matter what.
Doug, I love it. I noticed your shirt. You're wearing the 100 Millionaires shirt.
I'm suiting up for you, brother. I'm here for support.
Awesome. Mine's in the laundry. It's so embarrassing. But you pull it off awesome.
I actually pulled it out of the clean laundry basket.
Give Doug McGurk a round of applause.
Sorry, Walter, you only have one?
Oh, I've got 10. No, I've got 10, but as Dorina knows, I wait a little while to do the laundry sometimes. So thank you, Jill. Coaches, there you go. Ryan McDermott, you're up.
Yeah, Walter, the whole idea of building the team, I feel like it's been a recurring theme that's popped up at different times, either in the Alchemist Mentorship Program or on these calls. And I've been through this process before at my own business, finding ways to kind of get me out of doing the tasks that are holding me back from growth. And, every time we kind of add a new team member and I take on a different role, it's a constant sort of ebb and flow of having to kind of replace yourself and find more team members. And I was going through this process over the last couple of weeks. I was doing a task that I knew was a low income activity. And what I started doing was I made a spreadsheet as I was going through it, and I wrote down each step to those tasks so that I could just find somebody to just do it, whether it's a virtual assistant or somebody that we hire. And when you were going through the exercise earlier, I was mentally sort of in my head creating an avatar for that person. And what put it over the top for me was when you said, think about people in your network. And light bulb went off, and I could think of 5 people, and 5 people, I have the image in my head of 4 or 5 different people that I can hire to bring in to solve this bottleneck for me. And it's immense value, for me on that. So thank you.
Awesome. Give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Ryan was one of our students. He came in already close to being a millionaire. He was one of our first millionaires, actually, he's number one if you go to the website, number one. So became a millionaire while he was in the coaching program. So he was just had a head start, and now he's coaching. Now he's giving back. Now he's contributing. He's also a financial advisor with a ton of experience, and his net worth was built that way. And he also owns some real estate. So he fits in with us 100%.
Where's his plaque?
Plaque's coming, Mike. So
I also need my shirt,
Buying
just
the
saying.
plaques, Mike.
Plaque.
Thought you were buying them.
long-standing conversation with the coaches is everybody agrees that there should be a plaque when you become one of the millionaires, one of the 100 millionaires. The website, we plan on setting it up so it's 1, 2, 3. As people say, hey, look, I became a millionaire, and a lot of it was attributed to this program. Thank you. As we get those, people are getting listed on the website, and Mike Shine is a pusher for the plaque. As you can see in his background, he likes plaques. So
Yeah, in the military, we call that an I love me wall.
On the back.
what is it, Ron?
In the military, we call that an I love me wall.
And I love me wall.
Full disclosure, my wife made me put those up there. She's like, people come into your office, they need to see who you are.
So maybe it's an I love you wall from Brenda.
Yeah, there you go.
Every eye should have one.
I agree. Speaking of eyes, Mitch Jorsky, what was your take on this lesson?
So I wanted to touch on something Doug was talking about earlier in terms of like, your team and working with people you aspire to, like raising that standard. And there's something else in regard to that I always think about. And it's, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I need to find another room. It's okay to be the smartest person here and there, but if you're always the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room because you're therefore not aspiring. There's not people that can essentially, pull you up just as you do with people that you might be smarter than or more experienced than. So that's something I pay mind to. If you're the smartest person in the room, find another room. And then earlier when you're talking about coaches and mentors and you're talking about people that do it, we had this conversation, last night, and I'm a big proponent on that, on kind of like that, being authentic. So, for me personally, I coach people with real estate investing, and I focus on small multifamily because that's what I do. That's what I crush. I love it. Like for me, it's just like, why, like I'm going to always focus on that because I crush that space. I know how it works. I don't have any worries, and yeah, I'll go bigger at some point, but working that niche, and then anyone that's trying to do single family or small multifamily, it's like, yes, I can coach the shit out of you on that because that's what I crush. I was like, I can help you analyze larger multifamily because I've done that. I understand how the numbers work, but that's not my bread and butter. So that's something I think is important when you're looking for a coach. Like, do they do what you want to do? Are they experienced in what you do? Do they have a success, track record of doing it themselves or having a bunch of people they helped do it? Because if you look at, like, for instance, like basketball coaches, there's a lot of great basketball coaches. Like, yes, they might have played basketball like high school, maybe even college, but there's NBA coaches that are great coaches that never played in the NBA, but they played the game, they understand it, and they were able to create success for others. You know what I mean? So keep an eye on not only if they're doing it, but if they have people that they've essentially mentored, coached, taught that have had success. Because in the end, we live in a world of marketing. People can kind of just throw out whatever the hell they want and say whatever they want. So look for that, authenticity in terms of a coach or a mentor.
I love that. Mitch Jorsky, the Scaredy Cat Guide. I don't have your book here. I was looking for it earlier. I think it's upstairs. So Mitch is actually at my house right now. He flew up from Florida, and he's logged in at one of my computer desks.
Rena's got the book.
Who's got the book? Darina's got the book. There it is.
Ron. And just full disclosure, yes, I'm up here to close on a deal that Mr. Mike Shine is helping me close. And worth every dollar, because technically I actually didn't need him for the closing. I was like, nope, I want my own representation.
Sweet.
And I'm glad I had it because, of course, an issue popped up, and Mr. Mike Shine is getting it ironed out for me because the other lawyers are dropping the ball. So when you have a choice,
Always work with the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. That's awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. And since we're talking about it, Mike Shine, what would you say was your takeaway from Build a Solid Team, Build an Awesome Team, Wealth Principle 35?
Yeah, this is real eye opener for me. I know we talked about it last night, but this is really what's cool is you have this community and you say something in the chat like, I need my own Ron Bowling. And suddenly 2 people come and they say, I'll be your Ron Bowling. It's like, oh my God, what an amazing community this is. You know, yeah, I love it.
I really got to start paying attention to the chat. I feel like there's a world of awesomeness over there. Maybe I should just copy and paste it on a Facebook Live because the chat almost seems like most of the entertainment. Who's reading the chat right now and knows that's probably true, that I'm missing out on a huge chunk? All right.
You missed the whole thing last week where we all fell into Monty Python quotes for like 20 minutes. That was classic.
I do watch the chat later.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
very entertaining.
pass. Give Mike Shine, the holistic attorney, a round of applause. Mike Shine, what is the saying that you always say on our 100 Millionaires podcast?
Oh, massive income from passive income.
I love it. It's true.
What's your quote behind you? It's not, what does it say? I can't see it.
The point is not to work, it's to generate income.
So effing true. It's about generating. You don't need to work hard. What are we, from the Mayflower? Come on, we're not a bunch of Puritans. Let's go. Let's just make a bunch of money, have a lot of fun.
You know, Ryan McDermott made a good point earlier. When Ryan was talking about like kind of like outsourcing things and like using a team or whatever, it goes back to that quote, Galter, that I always love to say, organize and collect.
Organize and collect. So I'm pushing all the coaches to come up with their own taglines now. And I've been pushing Mitch to really start utilizing organize and collect. Comes from a movie, Fast and the Furious. But now, because he said it on a live video, it's all yours, Mitch.
Boom.
Terry Wager or Christine. Christine, I'm open to your interpretation of Wealth Principle 35. Build an amazing team. All right, Terry Wager, take it away.
It's all about the team. If you want to take it to the next level and be a millionaire, start building your team now. I mean, collecting great people. Even if you're not ready to hire, keep your eyes open and keep looking.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah, the ABC, always be closing. Change that right now to ABH. Always be hiring. Always be looking for those people who are going to add to your downstream or who can add to your upstream, and really focus on how to build that team out, because we are only as good as the people on our team. One of the things that I think about with our coaching that popped into my head when Mitch was talking was the fact that I coach people based on how much, when we get them going the way we want them to be able to incorporate them in whatever we're doing too, because we want to build a community. We're building a community with Gwalter. We joined the 100 Millionaire campaign because we believe wholeheartedly in it. And it is the one thing that we really want to do. And so watching people succeed, seeing how we can be a part of that and seeing how they can be a part of our success, it's just amazing to be able to have that team. And, you know, there's nothing better than it, because success alone is boring.
It really is. The last 2 weeks I've been walking around the house telling Darina that, man, I'm bored. Man, we're definitely doing too much. It's really boring. You can tell things are really crushing because I'm not needed, and it's like the most boring experience in life. But Terry, I noticed that you finally have a copy of your book behind you. I'm not ashamed of a little sales and a little plug. How do people get access to your new book?
You know what? It is not rolled out yet. We got the first 10 copies. We're going to be having a meeting about it with the people that helped make it possible, because we used a team. I wrote it, but they're helping us publish and do all of that stuff. And so
we will let you know.
We will be letting you know very, very soon. It will be available on
Amazon soon enough.
Yep.
Awesome. Give Terry and Christine a round of applause from Generator Coaching. Coaches, who have I missed? And I feel really silly about it. Where's Darina? Darina, what is your opinion on Wealth Principle 35?
Yes, so we have a little mastermind here too with Melissa. What I picked up the most important thing for me is relationships start with me, with you. And I think it's super important to realize your own value, your own position with the company, because any company starts with you, your own company starts with you, then you grow your team. So identify your position, identify your strength and your high strength and your low strength. We're only using that word, and then build your team around you, but begin a relationship with yourself, and that's so important. I think I didn't realize that until I started doing Miracle Morning. I know people here doing Miracle Morning. I was like really looking for your own value, researching what's going on in your brain, what you are capable of, and love yourself and trust yourself and be very clear who you are. And then if you don't like yourself, and nobody will, so you gotta make sure you love yourself and you have transparent relationship with yourself and good communication with yourself and honesty with yourself, and then you can surround yourself with people and build relationship with other people and build your team. That was very important.
Absolutely. Great observation. Give Doreen a round of applause. By the way, babe, you look awesome in that 100 Millionaire shirt.
Thank you.
To all the coaches, to all the future millionaires, I salute you. It's not easy. It's not easy being successful. It's not easy being happy. It's not easy being in great shape, having the best relationships. There's a lot of people out there who wish they had what you had, but it's not easy. It's fun. It feels good. It's exciting. There's a little bit of, habits you had to build, and it's almost impossible to not do the right things because we've built those habits. But for other people, it's not easy. And I get that. But for everybody in here who has decided to become successful, who's decided that they're worth it, that their family's worth it, that their mission's worth it, anybody who has decided to become one of the 100 millionaires, or even better, one of our 100 millionaires who's willing to build 100 millionaires, like Terry and Christine were talking about earlier. Like I know Mitch and Mike and Ryan and Doug and Dorina have taken on the challenge. To each and every one of you, you've got a powerful mission. You've got something really important to do with your lives. And I'm glad to support it. I'm glad that you're here with us. For everybody who has decided that one day you'll be there with them, for you, thank you. Keep working on yourself. Yes, there's work to do, but it gets easier. Yes, there's some habits to pick up, but they become effortless over time. It's just a matter of believing in yourself, believing in the mission, believing that if we truly want to stop poverty, it first starts with you becoming rich. It first starts with you deciding that you're worthy, that you deserve it, that you're capable of more because you can become more. The mentorship is all about helping you acknowledge who you are and what you're capable of and just teaching you and moving you to the next level. So I am blessed to be able to run it. I'm thankful for everybody who's a part of it. I learn from you every day. I appreciate each and every one of you, what I'm learning, what we're becoming, the community that we're building. And after watching Tony Robbins last night, I was truly inspired to see that the team that we have here with us, the people in the room, I feel like what Tony's got is exactly what we got, just amazing people. And so I want to give you a round of applause, everybody who's on the call. I appreciate you. Cheers to your success. I've got to jump off because, believe it or not, we're going to go another 4 hours with the mastermind after this. So for everybody who's in the mastermind, hands to the camera, this is your chance to go get some food, to go get a couple of seconds of rest, maybe. I know Melissa's probably going to go on a run. She hasn't done her run for the day. So this is your chance to go get some food, get some drinks, stack up some ideas, be thinking about what it is that you want, what you're looking for in your business right now so that we can help you get there. When you have a choice,
always work with the best.
Always work with the best. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.